A number of passengers on board a cruise ship have died and others have become extremely sick with suspected hantavirus. Here's what you need to know. The cruise ship, the MV Hondius, is carrying about 150 passengers and was traveling between Argentina and Cape Verde when passengers fell ill. The ship is currently outside the port of Praia, the capital, Cape Verde. To protect the local population, passengers are not allowed to disembark here. Hantavirus is a rodent-borne virus and is part of a family of zoonotic viruses. That's diseases that can be passed from animals to humans. So, how does the virus spread? The virus starts off contained in rodent feces, urine or saliva. Infected particles become airborne, and these can be breathed in by humans. Initial symptoms are very similar to flu-like symptoms, including muscle aches, fever, headache, and coughs. These can later develop into a serious infection of the lung or the kidneys, leading to organ failure. The incubation period, that's the time from infection to when the first symptoms appear, is somewhere between 1 to 8 weeks, but usually around 2 to 4 weeks. In extremely rare cases, the disease can be spread from human to human. Although there are antivirals that can help to manage symptoms, there is no cure for hantavirus. Viral outbreaks on cruises are not uncommon, but it's rare to have one that is so potentially dangerous. Officials are still working out how and where the passengers became infected and if all of them are sick with hantavirus.
I just realized that they are saying that the illness that's on that ship, that virus, they tracked it, right? And it's human to human. It came from Argentina. Do you know what is about to happen in the next few weeks? FIFA. Do you know where the base camp for Argentina is? Kansas City. Do you know who's about to get, hold on, let me check. 650,000 additional humans. Oh my God. Oh my God.
A suspected hantavirus outbreak has killed 3 cruise ship passengers and seriously sickened several others. Here's what we know. The Dutch cruise ship MV Hondius was on a multi-week cruise. It left Argentina several weeks ago and stopped at Antarctica and several South Atlantic islands on its way to Spain's Canary Islands. But for now, it is sitting off the coast of Cape Verde near West Africa, awaiting help after 2 cases of the hantavirus infection were confirmed. Hantavirus is a family of viruses that can be found around the world and are mainly spread by infected rodents' urine or feces to humans. In a briefing Tuesday, the WHO said rare human-to-human transmission aboard the ship can't be ruled out, though how passengers first contracted the virus remains under investigation. Hantavirus cases first manifest with flu-like symptoms like body ache and fever, but can progress to shortness of breath, followed by lung or heart failure. There is not a specific cure or treatment. Now, hantavirus made headlines in 2025 when the late actor Gene Hackman's wife, Betsy Rakowa, died from the infection. In this case, a 70-year-old Dutch man was the first victim, dying on the ship after presenting with a fever, headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea on April 11th. His wife died soon after at an airport in South Africa while trying to board a plane back to the Netherlands. A German national died on the ship Saturday, and another individual is currently in intensive care in South Africa. 2 ill patients are being prepared for medical evacuation. Afterwards, the ship will continue on to the Canary Islands. For PBS News, I'm Dima Zain.
Support journalism.
Health officials.
All right, shalom. Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. Salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth and all sincerity and diligence, risking both your lives and freedoms to do so. All right, shalom to the rest of the elect. As we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shah. All right, this your brother Rakaga Bar, and I'm going to just be speaking on this hantavirus, all right, that apparently is, killed 3 cruise ship members, all right, and that cruise ship, was sailing from Argentina, and I came across this video, where she pretty much made a good point, because we know that the World Cup is coming to Kansas City, all right, and it wouldn't be a surprise if in the midst of this time, when you have all of these people traveling, okay, hundreds of thousands of people traveling to America, all right, they you know, capitalized off of it in, you know, in the spread of this new pandemic, you know, this new virus, man. Okay, and you know, had to say, well, look, due to the spread, you know, and they said that there's no cure for it. All right, that's the videos I was watching. Pretty much said that there was no real cure for it. Okay, and apparently, as you can see, it's lethal. Okay, so you know, this wouldn't be a surprise, man. All right, if they try to play on this because they got all these people that are going to be coming to America, you know, and specifically Kansas City, you know, from these particular countries, you know, Argentina, and really all around the world, in lieu of the World Cup. All right, so that'd be a perfect, you know, Black Swan event, you know, or a perfect, you know, event they could blame for the spread of this new virus, man. Because, you know, we are in them times, man. I mean, you can't forget the war just heated back up again. All right, with Iran striking the, you know, the UAE, and all these particular things are mounting up. Okay, and you know, ultimately, you know, we can't be ignorant of these matters, man.
An adventure
All right?
cruise.
And I was just, like I said, just watching through these videos. They pretty much said that the virus doesn't have a cure, you know, and that it's spread from, you know, rodent feces and urine, which can be inhaled by humans. And she said in the video, it can't be ruled out that it, you know, is transmissible from human to human, right? And they try to say they don't necessarily know how it started, okay, or how it, you know, started or spread within the ship, but it's obviously, you know, getting around, okay? Let's see here. All right, and I'm just, you know, looking at these videos, man.
Hantavirus outbreak while traveling from Argentina to Cape Verde over the weekend. So what is the virus and what are the symptoms? Hantavirus refers to a strain of viruses carried by rodents, primarily transmitted to humans by inhaling airborne particles of their droppings. In rare cases, the virus can also spread between people, according to the World Health Organization.
Oh, well, there you have it. They said it can be spread. They said in rare cases, but you know that can change with the narrative, can easily change, and next thing you know, it mutated and it's more easily transmissible from human to human. So just because they saying rare, all right, now doesn't really mean a whole lot. But yeah, apparently they're saying it can spread from human to human, and I've been seeing comments where people saying don't let the ship dock. Don't let it dock, because they know at the end of the day, this shit is liable to spread, man. And this could be the next, you know, virus they use to lock this down, or whether they use the energy crisis. I mean, you know, it stands to be seen. But point being is that the Lord told us there would be plagues, you know, pestilences in these times, man. Okay, and again, you know, when you just, you know, put two and two together, you're gonna have a lot of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people traveling, you know, within the coming months, okay? The short coming months, man. All right? So
Hantavirus can cause two severe illnesses, one that primarily affects the lungs and the other that attacks the kidneys. First often starts with fatigue, fever and muscle aches, followed by dizziness, chills and abdominal issues. One problem here is that these symptoms can be mistaken at the beginning for the flu. If respiratory symptoms develop, the mortality rate is approximately 38%. The illness that affects the kidneys is more severe. Later symptoms can include low blood pressure,
the mortality rate is 38%, so that's nearly 40%. So that's a little over 1/3. So I mean, if 3 people got it, I mean, at least one of them, you know, would be fatal. They die from it. So and they're already saying it's
internal
no
bleeding and
cure
acute
for
kidney
it.
failure. While there's no specific treatment for the hantavirus infections, the US Centre for Disease Control and Prevention recommends supportive care to treat symptoms and admission to hospital for more severe cases.
So they said there's no treatment for it, man. They said there's no treatment for it, right? Another lockdown, no cure, all right? keep the ship offshore, never dock. I mean, they're not going to just keep that motherfucker, in the middle of the ocean. They're going to have to dock eventually, man. So, this could be Lockdown 2.0 season 2. And I just speak as a man. All right, we got to see how these things progress. But nonetheless, we're going to warn about this shit anyways, because the Lord speaks of, plagues and pestilence in these times, man. This is Luke 21 and verse 5. It says Yahweh, and this is the heading, Yahweh Shah speaks about the future. But it says some of his disciples began talking about and this is the NLT version, the majestic stonework of the temple and the memorial decorations on the walls. But Yahweh Shah said the time is coming when all these things will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another. All right, we know that happened. But it says, teacher, they asked, when will all this happen? What sign will show us that these things are about to take place? It says, he replied, don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name claiming I am the Messiah and saying the time has come. Don't believe them. All right. And when you hear of wars and insurrections, don't panic. Yes, these things must take place first, but the end won't follow immediately. And we've been in these times of wars and rumors of wars, man. Everything that, the Lord warned about is happening, man. Okay. Literally, man. It say, then he added, nation will go to war against nation. And are we not seeing that? Kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes. Okay. Even the earthquakes, man. All right. All types of earthquakes have been happening across the world these last several years, man. And that not minor ones either. Okay. But it's saying there will be famines. And we're also in a time where they're warning of famine due to the fertilizer crisis with the Strait of Hormuz. All right. And all these particular things. The droughts, right? And plagues in many lands. And there will be terrifying things and great miraculous signs from heaven. Okay, but the plagues, man, give me one moment. Let's just look that up. All right, plagues, a disease. It say a contagious bacterial disease categorized by fever and delirium, typically with the formation of bubonic plague, sometimes infection of the lungs, etc. It just lists different types. But yeah, man, ultimately, plagues, all right, diseases, outbreaks, to where the CDC could come out and say, oh, well, look, we have to lock back down due to X, Y, and Z. So again, I'm just reporting on it. Okay, we're going to stay tuned. All right. But, it wouldn't be a surprise. And they know a lot of people are about to be traveling in the short weeks and coming months. So, we just going to stay tuned, man. All right. But anyways, with that, I'm going to close out and give all praises to